being chief of police.
Can I just ask you my question, and then you can speak to what you want to speak to? I started to ask you a question. Please. My question is, you speak of a pervasive problem, and in the plural, you say angels, and suggesting improper relationships. Is there a particular reason that you mention only Lieutenant Colonel Tipper, who testified in her testimony, spoke about you or your office at least? You are not mentioning anyone else as part of the crowd of people that you say the chief had improper relationships with.
I want to focus my discussions and my evidence in terms of people who have been here and people who actually made allegations. Tepa, she was one of my protectors at some point, introduced by Chief, part of my team of protection. I had 8 males protecting me, and Chief withdrew one and introduced Tepa. And these other males were saying, but Mama, your office and your safety is actually questionable. Why do you allow Chief to bring this one? She's not going to help us. We need to be combat ready to protect you. Then I asked Chief, what is the reason of you? No, she's good. She's one of my angels. That is how he explained. He's one of his angels. And in terms of, if you go to Ekurhuleni, they will tell you about amangelosi, what amangelosi means or angels means in terms of Chief's definition. So she is part of the angels here, of Chief's angels.
Yes, you've said that. You've said she's one of the angels. My question to you is, she's testified against you. She said unflattering things about you. You are not mentioning anyone else by name of those angels. And what are we to make of it, that you speak specifically to someone who's testified against you? And I think you have just said now that, you know, she comes here to pretend she's an angel when in fact she's part of a network of people that are being abused by the chief. It may well be that is so, and I'm not saying that's not so because I don't know any better. It may well be. I'm asking the simple question that you mention her specifically, where you speak in the plural about angels. You're not mentioning anyone else. Is there a particular reason that you mention her and she happens to be someone who testified against you?
Thank you for the question. I'm not mentioning her because she was part of the people who made allegations about me, but I'm speaking about her and confirm because her name is already here, and Chief has actually introduced her to me as one of his angels. That is the reason why I'm mentioning her alone.
Okay. Can I just follow up on that? You also, on my question at least, you say at 50.1, you say it has been widely reported to me that Chief fathered children with subordinates. And in your oral evidence, you say you came to know that there was a problem in the MPD where you're not suggesting Chief is the only one. Chief Mapiyeye was the only one that is guilty of those kind of complaints. Correct. You're not suggesting that?
Correct.
Okay, but you're mentioning only him.
I'm mentioning Chief because there's a case about him, about sexual harassment,
yes,
and also rape.
Yes, you do.
I can't mention others because there was never a case that was brought to my attention about rape or sexual harassment. And I could not, as I indicated when I started that, I could not charge anyone about the practice in EMPD. Instead, as a female accounting officer, I decided to create a program to empower these women.
Okay. Maybe lastly, let me ask, you are the municipal manager at the time.
Yes.
In fact, before that, you were the chief operating officer.
Exactly.
and then you become the municipal manager. In one of those two roles, you become aware that there are problems in EMPD, but you do no investigation. You don't appoint, you have the power to appoint. You don't appoint anyone to look into these serious allegations. You carry on until there's an allegation of the person that you discuss later on. There's a formal complaint, but the rest of the time you carry on without taking any action to look into these serious allegations that you should be addressing. I expect that the municipal manager takes it seriously enough that if you get this pervasive or this suggestion that it's a systemic problem in the EMPD, a responsible municipal manager would take action to investigate it further, and you don't seem to have done that.
Thank you very much. As I indicated at the beginning of my statement, when I said it was a general comment from a group of women, and there was no one with a formal complaint. Remember, you can't just investigate without a formal complaint, without anyone signing an affidavit or writing a grievance to you. You can't just, you're going to investigate everyone. What I reasonably did as an accounting officer, as a city manager, I had to create a program to deal with the systemic issue. I cannot just investigate people and say, yeah, there is this allegation that you guys, you are abusing these women, they are not promoted and so forth. I did a reasonable thing as an accounting officer to create that platform for women to be promoted and empowered.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Dr. Mashaza, if I may... Yes, Chair.
Just before that, it's a follow-up to the questions by my co-commissioner, Commissioner Baloyi. You say it has been widely reported to you. When exactly did you get the reports?
It was, as I indicated, that it was a verbal, when I started as an accounting officer. These things were reported to me by this group of female officers that the chief is fathering.
Please remind me, when did you become the city manager? I know it's here, but...
Yeah.
2016.
Yes.
So in 2016, you hear that Chief Mapiyeye is not only having improper sexual relationships with the women police officers, but is even raping some of them and harassing others sexually, even using coercion on them. I assume that's coercion for purposes of having sex with them? This is, you get to hear this in 2016. And all you do, unless I misunderstand you, so all you do is to create a platform for women to be promoted. That's all you do.
To be empowered, number one, and to be promoted as well. Remember, if there's no formal complaint, how do you start investigating people? That's why I'm referring to the paragraph where I deal with specific sexual harassment, where there's a formal complaint.
Are you suggesting that as a leader you get reports of such horrendous acts by the chief of police? You sit back and fold your arms instead of being proactive. You fold your arms and say, there are no complaints to me. Why can't you be proactive and do the best you can to get to the bottom of the reports that you have received, reports of such horrendous acts by the chief of police?
Maybe it is a foresight from my side, but as an accounting officer, if there's no formal complaint, how do I remember in terms of our processes in council, I must have a formal complaint like I received that there is this thing happening.
But what was your sense? Wasn't your sense that this was something systemic?
Yes, it was something systemic.
It's ongoing. It's ongoing. There are children out of improper sexual relations. There's coercion, meaning those that are not willing to have, even willing perhaps is not a good word in this context. So there's even coercion to have sexual relations with those that will not have sexual relations with him. There are rapes. You just fold your arms, sit and wait for complaints. Is that the way an accounting officer, a chief executive officer should act?
Commissioner, as I indicated that I cannot just from hearsay that there are this thing. I had to wait because there are processes in council. You can't just say there is this general view about an individual, therefore I'm investigating this individual. I must have something in writing that this person has complained about 1, 2, 3. Then I must write a report to council and ask council to give me permission to investigate, to suspend and investigate an individual. I could not unilaterally hearing from them as a group saying there is this thing happening. And I know that as an accounting officer.
Who did you get the reports from?
It was female officers.
Was it the affected women officers?
Affected women officers in the department.
So that's not hearsay. It's people who are affected.
But they must do it in writing.
Sorry, Doctor. Is the affected women telling you that this is happening to us? There's nothing hearsay about that. There's nothing hearsay about that.
I take your point.
So basically you did nothing, having received information about such horrendous acts by the chief of police. You just sat and did nothing.
I take your point that doing that program, it's not enough from the point of an accounting office. I take your point.
Thank you, Doctor.
I think, Doctor, it's more than the program is not enough. I think it's as specific as you receive word from women who speak to you. Because you raise it to a formal level. They tell you, we have a problem. And it's not just the chief, according to your evidence. They say the men in EMPD, this is what they do. What in fact it is you did nothing about that. Your explanation for doing nothing about it is you say, well, I didn't have any formal written complaints or allegations, but you did have verbal complaints and allegations, and then you did nothing about it. You didn't address those allegations.
I take your point, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perhaps lastly, this is 2016. Did the reports not continue throughout your tenure? The reports of this, what I've referred to as horrendous conduct, did those reports not continue? I would imagine if, as you have accepted, this is something that was systemic, it could not only have been in 2016 when you were appointed a municipal manager. The reports must have continued, not so?
Yes, if you look at the evidence of the victim,
yes,
the harassment coercion started in 2012, before I even became the accounting officer.
And did these reports continue throughout your tenure as municipal manager?
Obviously, they continued.
Throughout?
Obviously, they
so,
continued.
Meaning from 2016 all the way to 2025?
Yeah, but...
You were receiving these reports continuously and you did nothing about them? Save to create, what did you refer to it? safe to create the platform for them to be promoted, which does not, of course, address the issue we are raising. So throughout, from 2016 to 2025, you are continuously receiving these reports which tell you that there's a systemic problem, and you do nothing throughout your tenure as municipal manager.
What I did, and I explained, Commissioner, that
Leave out, please.
we have processes in council, and like even now, I struggled to serve the report of Chief of Police in terms of his misconduct. I struggled. I received a complaint.
I'm specific to the systemic problem of the horrendous conduct who were sexually harassing, raping, coercing with a view to having sexual relations, junior women officers. That's my focus, not other issues which may have arisen and which you may have addressed. That's my focus, and my question is, there is this systemic problem of which you are aware because, as you've admitted, there are continuous reports on it, and you basically do nothing with that issue, that horrendous conduct from 2016 all the way up to the end of July 2025, throughout that period.
Commissioner, I take your point that just doing a program was not enough as an accounting officer while these things were systemic and happening. I take your point.
A more direct answer. So from 2016 to 2025,
yes, I take your point.
You did nothing.
Yes, I take your point.
All right.
Except to create a platform for them.
All right, thank you.
Maybe, Commissioner, we need to understand the processes of council in terms of senior managers. We need to understand that you can't just take a report, because for you to deal with this thing, I must report to council that this is happening around a senior manager. And that report must be supported with a complaint. I know that from my side as an accounting officer, my hands are tied in terms of dealing with some of the issues. That's why I took a soft route of actually creating that program. I must write a report to council and say, Chief did 1, 2, 3, coercing, abusing, sexually harassing people, and so forth, because Chief accounts to me. Junior managers is Chief that must deal with that in the Department of MPD. But in terms of him as a Section 56 employee, he reports directly to me. He's the only person that I can deal with in the department. So for me to write a report about him that he is doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I must go to council, the very same politicians who are protecting him. I must go there. I'm trying to illustrate that as an accounting officer, your hands are tied, especially when you are a female, are tied in dealing with male chauvinism in local government.
I would understand that if you had done something and had been rebuffed, but for you to sit, fold your arms from 2016 to end of July 2025, I do not understand that at all. If you had done something, I mean, these are very serious allegations, Dr. Mashaza, very serious allegations, and please do not misunderstand us. Do not think that we are defending Chief Mapiyeye and the other senior men that you are making allegations against. No, we are not. But it's more about what did you do about it, on the assumption that the allegations are true. What did you do about it? That's where we are.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you. Perhaps just to close out on that line of questioning, Dr. Mashaza, accepting the extent to which your hands were tied, as you have testified, is it fair then to accept that the pattern of abuse of women persists? There was nothing to stop it, so it persists and probably has gotten worse. Is that what you'd be telling this commission? No, you need to express yourself orally so that the machine can record your answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So it persists and it has worsened since.
I can't say it has worsened. I can say there's improvement immediately after I introduced and empowered them and made them understand that they are not sex objects.
Yes.
They are equally qualified to compete with these males.
Yes.
For positions, and HR processes are pure.
Okay, now, I think it's incumbent upon me to tease out some aspects of your paragraph 50.1. As the chair pointed out, these are very serious allegations. The conversation that we've had so far relates to the pattern within the city. But paragraph 50.1 specifically points to Chief Mapiyeye. It's personal, as against him personally. Now, for the record, this commission is not out to impugn anyone's name or to judge anyone's sense of morality. And I would like to believe that neither do you approach this commission with that kind of thinking. Accepting that you do not intend to unnecessarily impugn his name, I then want to unpack 50.1. You say, it has been widely reported to me that Chief Mapiyeye fathered multiple children with subordinates who were vulnerable to his abuse of power. Firstly, you, in response to a question by Commissioner Kumalo, you said it's not mabaribari. It can be substantiated, it's factual. My question to you is, do you know the identities of those juniors with whom Mr. Mapiyeye fathered children? Do you know that as a fact, or do you accept because it was communicated to you?
Unfortunately, I cannot mention the names of people here, but I know few of them.
Also,
two of them.
You can establish that fact.
Yes, yes.
And you may do so through your statement, if so, your supplementary statement, if so required.
Exactly.
And how many children are we talking about?
I'm not sure about the number.
No.
The number here is said, let's just read my statement.
I'm at 50.1, your page 8.
Yeah. It said...
You said fathers multiple children with subordinates.
Children.
Yes.
I never indicated the number. I'm not sure about the number.
At that time it was communicated to you, how many women specifically confirmed this situation? How many?
I do not recall the number.
Was it 2 or 10 or 20?
I do not recall the number.
That bad, doctor?
Thank you.
I'm asking, it's a question. Is it that bad that you can't recall whether it's 2 or 10 or 20?
Remember, ma'am, I'm running 26 departments, and each and every department we have, in police only, we have more than 3,005 officials. How do I remember all these things? I don't remember. I don't recall. And obviously, I cannot be forced to say a number that I don't know.
I appreciate
And I don't want to lie to the commission, to be honest.
Indeed. I pressed for that because you are not talking about a particular pattern where seniors father children with subordinates. You are speaking of specifically one person. And you have just indicated to the commission that you can give detail regarding those cases in your supplementary. That would mean you refer to specific people who confirmed to you as a matter of fact that it happened to them. But you say you don't remember whether it was 2, 10, or 20. I am more concerned about the second part of that allegation, where this fathering of multiple children is through conduct amounting to sexual harassment, coercion, and rape. So, do I understand you correctly that some of those children were fathered following a rape by Chief Mapiyeye? Is that your statement to the commission?
Can you repeat your statement?
You can't, we can't, because you are looking at your phone and you are reading something on your phone, so naturally you will miss many of the things that I say. So we're going to have to make a decision how we run this. You are either with the commission and you are testifying before the commission, or you'd like some time to attend to your phone.
I'm trying to get information from my phone.
No, if you need time to get information, kindly address yourself to the commission and request the time, and the time shall be given to you. When a question is posed to you and you distract yourself by attending to your phone, I'm sure you'll accept that it won't particularly work.
Yeah, it's incorrect, and I apologize for that.
What is incorrect?
For me to be attending to my phone
Okay.
while the
No,
session is on.
Apology accepted. The question was, the last part of that particular paragraph suggests that Chief Mapiyeye fathered some, I take it, of these multiple children with subordinates through the act of rape. Is that what you're communicating?
Yeah, there's a rape case opened against him.
From which a child was born?
I beg pardon?
From which a child was born?
There was no child born,
Okay.
but there's a rape case in terms of the testimony that is part of my bundle.
That's a clarification I sought. So I
Yeah.
should not read sexual harassment, coercion, and rape to relate to the fathering of children. These are two separate allegations you make.
Exactly.
Okay. And before we get there, because we will get there, that's what you call your question 13. The example you give in your statement is a complaint by one subordinate. Dare I ask you whether there are more, if you know for a fact that there are more, and how many, or you don't recall?
I can confirm that there's one who came through.
Okay.
As I indicated that a group of them came and complained, but because there was no written statement and there was nothing, I was unable to act upon it. As I indicated that there are processes and my hands are tied in terms of reporting such behaviors.